Hi there, I'm Vance Reeds. I am Paccurate's head of sales, and today I'm going to demo Paccurate's platform. Paccurate, broadly speaking, is a cubic optimization platform, but really we call ourselves a packing control system. All of Paccurate's software really falls into this cubic optimization world, and everything is based on or built on our cartonization algorithm. And so if you're not familiar with what cartonization is really kind of putting things into another thing in the most spatially efficient way possible, or packing. And so most of our customers are shipping a lot of parcels or shipping a lot of pallets, and they use our algorithm to say, tell me the best way to pack my boxes or to stack my pallets in order to reduce transportation cost and ship most efficiently. And so at a very high level, that's what our packing algorithm does. Generally, we're integrated with something like a warehouse management system or an ERP, but any system of record that can call an API and pass order information can make use of our software. And so the information that we're making use of is items. So what are you shipping? What are the dimensions of those items? Dimensions are very important. The quantities of those items, the weights of those items, and then what are the things that I can pack those items into, whether it's boxes or mailers or pallets or kind of containers or trucks. What are the containers I can pack things into? And then what our algorithm figures out is what's kind of the most spatially efficient way to do so. But where our algorithm separates itself from some other solutions on the market is that we can take into account lots of other information that affect how things get packed. And so that information can be anything from operational SOPs around kind of maximum weights per box or per mailer, or don't pack this item with this other type of item, or other item characteristics like nesting or folding or compression, stackability, hazmat rules or cold chain rules. And then lastly, one of the things that is kind of really unique about our algorithm is the ability to incorporate a parcel carrier rate structure in the actual cartonization process. So based on what your rate table and your dim factor and your additional handling thresholds look like with your primary carriers, we can say, okay, based on all of this information we know about what's in the order and the rules around the items in this order, and combined with the rate information from your carrier, here's the most cost optimal way to ship this order while still complying with your operational rules and SOPs. And so at the end of all of that complex math that our algorithm is doing in the background, we return a response that shows which items go into which boxes. And you can also populate an image that shows your packer, here's how you do it. Here's the order in which the items are packed. Here's where they go. Here's what stacks where. Here's how they should be oriented, etc. And so in theory, not only does this save you transportation cost and materials cost because you're choosing kind of smaller, better fitting boxes, but it also saves you on labor because your packers don't need as much kind of orientation or training time to get up to speed with what your SOPs are. They don't have to take as long deciding which boxes are right. And they don't have to take a bunch of time kind of playing Tetris to figure out how to fit the items best into the box, because they can just see an image that shows them how to do it. The kind of second piece of our platform, which is really the thing that we think makes our platform into a packing control system, is something that we call resources. And so resources can really refer to a lot of different things, but as a broad idea, what resources refers to is Paccurate's ability to store pieces of information within our web platform, so you don't have to send them to us in an API request in order to make use of it. For an example, you can use resources to create and store a lot of those packing rules that I was just talking about. So your nesting, your folding, your stackability rules, your don't pack this with that types of rules. You can create all of those within resources using a simple UI rather than having to code them into an integration. So this reduces IT lift. both for implementation and certainly for maintenance, and allows somebody like an operator or a subject matter expert who's really on the floor and knows how things should be packed to create and maintain those rules rather than having to rely on IT, who's everybody knows IT resources are always constrained. But in addition to just packing rules, you can also create, store, and maintain other things like carton lists. So if you change what cartons are available or have seasonal cartons or something, you can create and store carton lists and then reference the right ones at the right times. You can create and store an item master list with, of course, all item master information that you can think of, but also characteristic information. So maybe categories that your WMS can't natively store without having to add custom fields or something like that. So that's obviously reducing IT lift, but also reducing a lot of costs. We know how much some of the WMS providers might charge to add kind of custom fields into your WMS instance. But also you can store and maintain rate tables for you to reference when you're cartonizing, so you don't have to actually send a rate table in your API request. All kinds of different things. But the idea with resources is really to reduce kind of the headaches around, well, how do I keep my cartonization optimized over time? Or how do I change this thing? Or how do I add a new rule? It doesn't have to be kind of a complicated proposition. You log in, you choose some drop-down menus, and then you have your rule created. The third piece of our platform is something that we call PacSimulate. And so instead of, in the case of the API, saying, given the information about this individual order, what's the best way to pack it, what PacSimulate does is allow you to say, based on my historical shipping data, but also my packing rules and my real costs from my transportation costs, my materials cost. One, how am I performing today in all of these different KPIs, from transportation costs to boxes per order to total corrugate usage to how much am I getting billed on dim weight? How am I performing today? And is there a better set of boxes that would serve me better? And how much would it save me in all of those KPIs? So our customers use this platform to optimize their box sizes over time, figure out what the right number of box sizes would be, and also test other types of operational changes. Like, what if I changed a packing rule? Or what if I increased or decreased the max weight of my boxes? Or what if I onboarded these different SKUs that have weird dimensions that none of my current SKUs have? How would that affect my costs? Or even something like adding on-demand packaging automation into my operation. What would be the ROI of adding a pack size machine? So this is really kind of a big data simulation tool that allows you to forecast the impact of making operational changes without having to commit to them. And then the final piece, at least currently the final piece of Paccurate's platform, is something we call PacHealth. PacHealth is really a performance monitoring dashboard. It allows you to get real-time insight into how is my packing and packaging performing. What does my volume utilization look like over time? What does my boxes per order look like over time? What does my sustainability look like over time? And also get calls to action around, hey, maybe it's time to do a new simulation and figure out if you're using the right boxes. Or, hey, for some reason, your performance dipped on this day, and maybe that lines up with when you introduced a new SKU. But it also allows you to drill even deeper into the individual order level and look at orders that perform particularly well or particularly poorly and troubleshoot why that might have been. And so between all four parts of Paccurate's platform, what it's really providing you is, one, a holistic way to manage your packing and packaging across your operation. Two, an easy way to manage a lot of the characteristics about how you're packing and packaging without having to rely too much on IT, whose resources are constrained. And three, a feedback loop between all of these different interconnected parts of this packing and packaging piece of your operation.